Hello everybody, I'm Ray. Thank you for being here. And I'd just like to start with a big thank you for your comments, your feedback, your encouragement. It's a little bit, it's interesting because it's related to what I wanted to talk about anyway today, about how unique our paths are to remembering the truth of who you are, your spiritual path. And this is all about authenticity, showing up in that very authentic way, not pretending to have it all together, certainly not pretending to know it all. That's a very clear thing on this path. As soon as you think you know it all, you get a reminder that you don't. You know nothing, and you're back into that space of being open to a more humble space of understanding what it is you're here to experience and to learn and to continue to grow. Coming back to the point I was going to make was that one of my biggest adversaries on this path, personally speaking, is self-doubt. And really understanding how that has prevented me from showing up authentically. And life has given me everything I needed and continues to give me everything I need to explore that self-limiting experience of self-doubt. And that is spirituality in a nutshell for me. It is living life, embracing it with more and more awareness and curiosity, and understanding that everything we're experiencing is there for us, shifting out of that idea that, or this kind of victim state of, oh my goodness, why is this happening to me? To understanding that this is happening for me, and it's a perfect opportunity for me to embrace and to discover and be curious about who I am, who we are as individuals, humans, what connects us, but also what makes our path so unique, because we're all having this very unique experience. There is no one path to spirituality or to spiritual awareness or to becoming, to enlightenment, to remembering the truth of who you are. And I think it's important to remember that spirituality isn't meant to look like a specific thing. That's a limiting idea already, a belief of what we think spirituality should be. It is life, it is our unique experience of life, and everything that it can bring to us, show us, that experience, and how we engage with life, how we respond, and what we learn, how we grow through that experience. And it's not about getting it all right, it's not about knowing it all, it's about being curious and embracing that very personal, unique experience of life with more and more awareness, with more and more humility, discernment, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, all of these things that we're here to experience more of, that will bring us back into balance, little by little, moment by moment. That's my experience anyway, and I keep on getting reminders of this. So anyway, I would like to say thank you for your encouragement, because it's taken a fair amount of personal, courage, self-motivation to open up this space, to connect with people who might want to be here and feel that it resonates in some way. So thank you very much. Thank you. And I know personally that this needing to know has been a big motivator for me. It's almost like this tension inside that you're constantly seeking, searching for the answers. And it's a very human need, I think, to know, to want to know what's happening. And it's one of the things that really does pull us out of that ability to be present and to trust in the present moment and trust in the process of life, trust in your ability to show up, to respond with awareness, and to let go of the future, of not knowing, of the uncertainty. Because the more that we're able to be present and show up with awareness, consciously making choices in that space, we are creating the future in the present moment. But there's always that kind of tension in that space. And I think, again, this is one of the things that came up for me personally yesterday, and I don't know if it resonates, but the idea that we should know everything, and the actual reality of that, not knowing anything and being comfortable with not knowing, and what that means in terms of your own very unique spiritual path of discovery, of who you are, of what life is showing you, of what truth is to you. We're learning to trust in that nuance of, what am I feeling? What am I feeling intuitively? What am I feeling guided to? What is this showing me? It all is there in what we're feeling. And this is the uniqueness of our path. There's not one truth. What I would like to share more than anything is that we learn to listen to what we're feeling, and that becomes the most powerful guide that any person wishing to explore more on the spiritual path can connect to. It is the most powerful guide. Learning to trust what you're feeling and to discern what it is you're experiencing and what you're being shown, and how to engage consciously in that space moment to moment. I don't know about anybody else, and again, this is how the spiritual path can be so unique. There is no one size fits all, that's for sure. And it is our unique experience of life that becomes the spiritual path. My own process of awakening has not been this single aha moment where I suddenly saw how I am not my thoughts, and then suddenly I was liberated from the prison of my mind or anything like that. It's been a very, very gradual process of awareness, of opening up, and it's not been a lovely, it's certainly not always been lovely, that's for sure. It's not been a consistent opening. It's more like an opening and a closing, an opening and a closing. And there have been times when I felt when the closing was like, oh, back to square one, but not at all. It's just that, again, it's my unique path has happened in that way, as I have engaged and explored and been curious and struggled at times and let go, and gradually in my own experience I have arrived here at this particular moment on my path of awakening. So yeah, it'd be interesting to hear about your experiences of what your life experience has taught you in terms of your own spiritual awareness, the aha moments. And I have had aha moments, but generally speaking it's progressed very slowly but consistently over the past 10 years. And in that space of the present moment over 10 years, I have learnt so much and have accessed everything that I've needed. And I think that brings me back neatly to this idea of knowing, and that have I arrived yet? Is there more? There's always more. It's a process of expansion as much as remembering, I think. And what I've realized is that the goal is not to know everything, not at all. What would the fun be in that, of knowing everything, But I do know where to look. I have understood that whatever life is presenting me with, whatever challenge, perceived obstacle, difficulty, decision, choice, whatever it is I'm experiencing, either in my immediate life or in here, I know where to find the answer. And the answer is within. It is within, and it comes from being present and connecting and being curious and sitting with the discomfort and knowing when to engage, when to let go. And this is all a process of learning more and more about who you are, and to navigate this life and everything that has either been given to you, is it just to present itself, or that you have created in your own patterns and cycles, and to navigate that in a state of coming back to who you are, to your presence, consciousness. And in every single instance in the past 10 years, I can safely say that the answer has come through that connection. Okay? And I will talk more about that in another post, that connection and how I have nurtured that, if it's helpful. If you find that to be helpful, please let me know. And it's been essential, at least in my own experience, in healing and moving through any challenge that life has presented me with. Okay. So again, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for being here. I hope that's been helpful. And again, I look forward to seeing you in the next post.